I will be starting in another 3 or so minutes at 2:05. Just to know that this Zoom session is being live streamed via YouTube. So you can leave your mics and cameras off if you wish to. At the end of the session, if you wish to, ask any questions or anything, um, you can do via the chat or by putting your audio on. If you don't wish to be live stream, then we're switching the live stream off, restarting another Zoom session, and then if anybody has any questions they wish to speak of, they can do. However, you can always leave, any questions in the chat also, or if anybody's got any issues now, you just let me know if you can hear me properly. So another couple of minutes, another 2 minutes, and we'll make a start. Okay, so we'll make a start now. And so, yeah, just to remind you that this event is shared via YouTube, as I said before. So all the mics and cameras are off. Nothing will be shared, of anybody's audio or camera. Um, yeah, at the end of the session there, you can ask any questions. So you can put your, mic on then, or ask any questions via the chat option. So if at any point I get disconnected, I'll try to connect straight away. If you get disconnected, you can use the link for the Zoom session on Meetup and connect back in, or you can connect via YouTube live stream as well on my YouTube channel. On my Facebook channel, there's a link for the YouTube live stream also. And so just a quick intro to those who are new. So meditation is just relaxing and just recognizing and placing our attention on our essential consciousness, our very core of our being. So we use different techniques to get to that space within ourselves. So today we'll practice the breath awareness, focusing our attention at the point in between the eyebrows, and then just recognizing that space within ourselves, that silence within ourselves. So meditation's nothing but discovering, recognizing who you are, and resting our attention in that space, in that sense of being, in that presence. And so, as I said, we'll be using 3 different techniques in this session. First, starting with the breath, just being aware of the breath at the nostril area, watching the breath as it comes in and out. Then placing our attention at the point in between the eyebrows and focusing our attention there. And then just the inquiry and just deeper reflection, contemplation on who we are and coming to a deeper space and presence within ourselves. So do what you feel comfortable with. For some of those who may be advanced with the meditation or been doing these techniques that I've been doing weekly, you may wish to skip to the third eye, or you may wish to skip to just being in that sense of awareness and just recognizing whatever experience comes up. If you're new, just start with the breath and do what you feel comfortable with, and move through the techniques if you wish to. Okay, so just making yourself comfortable, making sure your phone's on silent, there's less distractions in your environment, using a cushion, blanket, anything to make you feel comfortable, and preferably doing it sitting down. However, some people do lie down at certain points during the meditation, but if you sit up, just make sure your spine is erect, and at your own time, in your own time, just close your eyes in your own time. And as you close your eyes, first starting with the breath awareness, just bringing your attention now to the nostril area. And as you inhale and exhale, just feeling that sensation of air coming in through the nostrils as you inhale. And as you breathe out, feeling that sensation of air moving out as you exhale. So as you breathe in and out, naturally, you don't have to alter or change your breathing or hold your breathing in any way. You're just watching the natural breath at the nostril area. As you inhale, you'll feel a sensation in the inner nostril area. As the air enters through the nostril, you'll feel a slight sensation coming up the nostril. And as you exhale, you'll feel that sensation down the nostril. So this is just the sensation as air passes through the nostrils, in and out the nostrils. You'll feel the sensations in the nostril area. So just focusing your attention at the nostril area and just being a witness to these sensations of the breath, watching the breath coming in, watching the breath going out, watching the breath going in, watching the breath going out. And just being aware of these sensations at the nostril area. So as you observe the nostril area and the sensations of the breath, some of you may notice you feel the breath moving up the left nostril more or the right nostril more, or some of you may feel the breath is flowing equally through both the nostrils. However, predominantly the breath moves through either the left or the right nostril, and that switches with time. So just be aware now and just see if you can feel the breath moving more through the left or right nostril. And just allow your attention to be either the left or right nostril more. If it's equally through both the nostrils, then just observe both the nostrils. And so slowly we're sort of making our area of attention smaller within the nostril area. And so that allows our concentration to deepen. If you find your attention is scattered, then just observe the entire nostril area and just observe any sensation you may feel, as it may take some time for your concentration to deepen. So just watching, just being an observer, the main thing is just to witness the breath as it is, not to having to change it in any way or interpret the breath in any way, just to see it as it is, just to see the breath as it comes in and as it goes out. And observing them sensations, them subtle sensations in the nostrils as you inhale and exhale. And so the key of meditation is to come to that space of awareness, to come to that inner state of witnessing our experience within ourselves. So first we start with the breath by simply watching the natural phenomenon of the breath as it naturally occurs. And just remaining a witness, remaining an observer, just observing that experience of the breath through the nostrils without having to judge it or change it in any way. Just to observe, just to be a witness. to the breath as it naturally comes in and out. Naturally, your attention, naturally your attention will move to different thoughts, to different sounds, to different sensations in the body. And so each time you find your attention is not with the breath, you'll find maybe your attention is getting caught up in some thoughts and in some inner narration, story within oneself, in some sound or in some sensation in the body. When you find yourself caught up in that experience, then take a step back and just observe that thought, observe that sound, observe that sensation in the body, and just observe any part of you, part of your identity, which may be reacting to that thought. Parts of your identity might try to push away unpleasant experiences or hold on to grasp onto pleasant experiences. Just observe this and then gently guide your attention back to the nostril area. Gently guide your attention back to the breath, observing the natural breath as it comes in and out. You may also be aware of the gap in between the breath as the exhalation goes out and before the inhalation starts. There's a small space of silence, small gap as the breath turns in and out. And again, the key is just to come into that space of just being aware, of just simply witnessing, observing the experience of the breath as it is moment to moment. Watching the breath go in, watching the breath go out. Even if your attention is scattered as part of the meditation, don't let yourself get frustrated or disturbed if your attention keeps moving to different thoughts and experiences. As the attention is habitual, habituated to moving to each and every thought, each and every experience. So in this process of meditation, we start to become consciously aware of where our attention is moving to. We become consciously aware of the different thoughts and emotions and sensations our attention and energy holds onto. And we start to become aware of the different patterns of thoughts and emotions which we place our attention upon. Each time you find yourself caught up in some other experience apart from the breath, then just notice that experience, take a step back and just observe that you're not with the breath and just observe that experience as it is in the moment. Maybe some thought playing out, maybe the mind is creating some story or inner narration, maybe you're observing some sensation in the body, maybe you're experiencing some sound or other impression from the senses. Just observe that experience as it appears in the moment and just see that you're an observer, you're a witness. There's a deeper part of oneself which is simply just aware of that experience, simply aware of that thought. Just remain aware and then bring your attention, guide your attention back to the nostril area, guide your attention back to the breath. And watching the breath going in and out. And with time, as your concentration deepens, the breath will become more deeper, more slower, more calmer. And as your breath slows down, becomes more deeper, naturally your mind and your thoughts start to slow down. Naturally, your body starts to calm down and comes into a deep state of rest. And naturally, you start to feel a deeper silence within oneself as the breath slows down, as the breath becomes deeper, as your concentration deepens. You'll also be aware, start to become conscious of when you start to get caught up in different thoughts and emotions. Check back in on my breath and certain emotions, certain thoughts will start to trigger your breathing. You start to breathe faster, more erratically, and to become more conscious of how your thoughts affect your breath and your breath affects your thoughts and emotions. And so the breath is an anchor to come back to, is a base to come back to as you explore deeper into oneself. So each time your attention moves out to different thoughts, different emotions, different experiences, that's an opportunity for you. Don't be frustrated that your attention is distracted into different thoughts and experiences, but use it as an opportunity to become self aware, to become conscious of the different thought patterns and emotions your attention is moving into, which you're giving your energy into. And it's a point to become more aware of these thought patterns and emotions. And instead of habitually reacting to them unconsciously, we take a step back and just observe them from this meditative space within ourselves, from this space of awareness within ourselves. Similarly to how we observe the breath coming in and out and just stayed in that space of awareness. In the same way, we're simply aware of these different thoughts, different emotions, different experiences, and see them as just a movement of energy, a movement of consciousness within ourselves. And we remain as this sense of awareness and just simply witness these thoughts, witness these emotions naturally coming and going, and then bring our attention back to the breath, anchor back to the breath, focus our attention back on the breath, and simply observe the breath coming in and out. And so now, for those who wish to stay with the breath awareness meditation, you can do. I'll be now moving to the third eye meditation. So you can try the third eye meditation at any point. If you wish to come back to the breath, then please do. So now just still focusing on the breath at the nostril area. As you breathe in, feeling the breath as an energy. As you breathe in and out, feeling as though you're breathing in energy. And as you're exhaling, energy going back out, breathing in energy, and breathing out energy. And so as you breathe in, just feeling that energy rising up to the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, feeling the energy and feeling your attention gather and rest at the space in between the eyebrows. So breathing in, feeling as though you're inhaling energy, fresh new energy from your surroundings, up through the nostrils to the point in between the eyebrows. As you exhale, just feeling the energy gather at the space in between the eyebrows. And just allowing your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. Inhaling, breathing in fresh new energy into the system, feeling the energy gather, the space in between the eyebrows, exhaling, Just allowing your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. Breathing in, watching the breath coming in, feeling as though fresh new energy is rising up into the system, moving to the point in between the eyebrows. Exhaling, feeling your attention resting at the space in between the eyebrows, feeling the energy gather at the space in between the eyebrows. If you feel any tension at this space, just relax and just have a gentle focus, a gentle awareness at the space in between the eyebrows, not creating too much tension. Just a gentle focus at the space in between the eyebrows, feeling the energy as the breath as a form of energy, a flow of energy, moving up the nostrils, focusing at the point in between the eyebrows, exhaling, allowing the energy to gather at the space in between the eyebrows. And then when you feel your attention, you start to get drawn into this point in between the eyebrows, then you can stop following the breath in and out or stop visualizing the breath as a flow of energy, but just to allow then your attention just to rest at this space in between the eyebrows. So when you feel your attention is drawn in to this space, when you feel you can hold your attention at this space in between the eyebrows, then stop watching the breath and just simply allow your attention to rest at this space in between the eyebrows. Still, you may be aware of the breath, still, you may be aware of thoughts coming and going, but just to allow most of your attention to rest at this space in between the eyebrows. And with your eyes closed, you also may feel your physical eyes being drawn upwards to the space in between the eyebrows. Again, not creating any tension, just a natural, gentle gaze upwards, feeling as though your physical eyes, with your eyes closed, are looking up to this point in between the eyebrows. Just having a gentle attention, a gentle gaze at the space in between the eyebrows. Similar to how you gaze at a scene of nature or a flower, just a gentle gaze, a gentle focus of your attention. And this point in between the eyebrows being the third eye or the inner eye, just as our physical eyes look outwards into the outer world. This inner eye, the third eye, is what helps us to perceive within ourselves, perceive our inner experience, perceive our inner realities, dimensions within ourselves. And this inner eye helps us connect back to our own intuitive layers, our own wisdom within ourselves, helps us to see beyond the superficial reality, helps us to see beyond our thoughts and emotions and our identity, and helps us to see reality as it is from a highest perspective, moment to moment. And as we allow our attention to gaze at the space in between the eyebrows, we're simply looking within ourselves and looking into our inner experience. Still, thoughts may arise. You may be aware of the breath, or you may be aware of thoughts, sensations in the body, but simply feeling as though you're looking in from this point in between the eyebrows, looking into oneself, first looking into the center of the brain, and then looking into the body, being aware of the different sensations in the body, and then from this point in between the eyebrows, looking into one's energy body, looking into one's mind as thoughts arise, come and go, just feeling as though you're observing these thoughts and emotions from this space in between the eyebrows. Just a gentle gaze at the space in between the eyebrows, and then feeling that gaze and your attention moving into the center of the brain and into oneself. And feeling from this point, you're connecting to your own inner space, your own inner silence, your own inner presence. You're connecting from the third eye, you're connecting into one's inner space, this inner infinite space of silence, presence, in which these experiences of thoughts, emotions, sense impressions arise and pass. Thoughts are constantly arising and passing within your inner space. Different sounds, different emotions, different sensations in the body are continuously arising and passing within your inner space. No experience, no thought, no sensation is permanent. You start to see that every thought comes, arises, stays for some time, and passes. But as you observe from this space in between the eyebrows, you start to perceive your inner experience from a higher perspective. Start to perceive your inner experience as it is, simply thoughts as movements of form, movements of energy, movements of consciousness within oneself. So, in our normal state of consciousness, we're normally identified with each and every thought, each and every experience in our outer life, and within ourselves, the different thoughts and emotions and our inner identity. We're normally identified as a sense of separate person experiencing life through these thoughts, through these emotions, through our beliefs and conditionings. But as we focus on the third eye and look within ourselves, we connect to a deeper space within ourselves, a deeper space of awareness presence, in which these thoughts and experiences arise and pass within. And this deeper presence within ourselves is unchanging, undisturbed by any experience, by any thought, by any emotion. This inner space within oneself is like the sky in which different clouds can come, similar to different thoughts and experiences which may come within our inner space. Different thoughts and experiences may come, but that inner space within oneself is undisturbed. In the same way, clouds may come and go in the sky, but the sky is unaffected, it remains unchanged. There's only a movement within the sky. As we have our attention at this place in between the eyebrows and we look into our inner experience, instead of now identifying with each and every thought, identifying with each and every experience, we start to recognize that deeper space of awareness presence within oneself, a deeper space of silence, in which thoughts and experiences can come and still go. You don't have to suppress them in any way. But as you connect to this deeper space, sense of space within oneself, these thoughts and experiences are like a small movement of form, a small movement of energy within oneself. You start to experience yourself beyond the experiences, or start to experience oneself as a vast, boundless space. Whatever your experience is in this moment, just observing from the point in between the eyebrows, seeing every experience naturally appears and disappears in its own time. And slowly, experiences will start to slow down, and you start to see the space in between thoughts, the space in between experiences, and you'll be able to connect to this space of silence, place of presence within oneself, in between the thoughts. And then even thoughts may be arising and passing, but you'll recognize your perception will shift, your attention will shift, and stay focused upon this deeper space of presence within oneself. And your attention starts to rest in this space of being, this space of presence within oneself. No longer your attention is habitually, unconsciously moving to each and every thought, each and every emotion, each and every experience. You start to go beyond your sense of identity or self image, also, as just that's another projection of the mind. You start to recognize this space of silence within oneself is beyond even the sense of individuality, sense of person, sense of I. It's just this inner space, this inner silence is an existential space within oneself. There's no sense of separation with nature, with existence, just in a natural state of being. So as you start to recognize this space within oneself, then you can drop any of the techniques. You can drop the breath awareness, you can drop the third eye meditation. And then meditation just simply becomes a recognition of this space within oneself and it just abidance in this space. And so as you rest at this space of presence awareness, just to be aware of the different thoughts that may come up, different experiences that may come up, and just see them as a movement within your inner space, within your awareness. And naturally your attention will move back into the sense of identity, the sense of I as a separate person, I and your own self image and your identity will react to different thoughts, to different emotions. Naturally, you start to move back into that whole vibration of being a separate me and sense of separateness from me and the world, me and the thoughts, emotions. And each time you recognize yourself going back into that sense of identity and identifying, reacting to thoughts and emotions and experiences, then come back to this space of awareness, this space of presence within oneself. Return the attention back into the space in which these thoughts, the identity moves within. So each time the meditation then becomes about coming back to one's own presence, coming back to one's own being awareness, which is undisturbed, unchanging, ever present, just like the sky is unaffected by the clouds of identity, the clouds of thoughts, emotions, experience. It's unaffected by the inner story. And there's a natural sense of calmness, natural sense of peace, bliss, joy that arises from the very core of one's being. That peace is not conditional, that peace, joy within oneself doesn't depend on some object in the outer world or fulfilling some desire or achieving something. But this peace, joy is just a natural state of being, a natural state of existence, which is always there. It's not lost, only clouded as we go back into the identity, go back into thought, go back into the feeling of being separate from nature, separate from existence. So the very core of meditation is to recognize who you are beyond the sense of identity, beyond the sense of separateness, the sense of person, which is only a image we use, a mask we use in our society. This self-image identity is based upon our different conditionings, our different beliefs, different experiences. It's just a bundle of thought. However, through meditation, we start to discover existential space within ourselves. This existential space is beyond thought, is beyond conditioning. This existential space is the same space within the entire nature, within the entire universe. And so through meditation, you're connecting to that deeper aspect of oneself, first recognizing, becoming aware of that, and then abiding in that. And through practice, through abidance in that deeper space within oneself, the limiting factors of our identity start to fall away. Unnecessary emotions, thoughts, beliefs we hold on to, that starts to dissolve into that presence, into our being. And we start to experience ourselves from this deeper space, from this deeper presence. And we start to learn to express oneself from this deeper space within oneself instead of just acting and reacting from our identity, from our thoughts and beliefs. We start to spontaneously express ourselves from this space of being. Just so feeling that silence within oneself, feeling that presence within oneself. And so now we'll be finishing with the meditation. So slowly now just returning your attention back to the breath, and just being aware of the breath coming in and out of the nostril areas, and observing the breath throughout the body also. As you breathe in, you can feel the expansion of the lungs, the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. And then just becoming aware of our body from head to toe, scanning our attention from the top of the head down to the feet, and just releasing any excess energy down into the earth, grounding oneself, coming back into our body consciousness, and then slowly coming back into our external senses, observing the sense of touch of the skin with the clothing, the sense of temperature on the skin, observing any taste in the mouth or any smell you may perceive. And then in your own time, opening your eyes in your own time, and just being aware of the sense of space, light, form, objects, and slowly coming back into our normal state of consciousness. And so after this session, just making sure you take some water or some food, some fruit to help ground you if you feel a bit spaced out. And just stretching if you wish, moving the body to help you bring your attention back into the body consciousness. And so if I usually use this time, if anybody has any questions, they can do ask. I know a few people are watching through YouTube live stream as well. If you have any questions, you can leave it through the chat option, or you can, unmute your mic and speak. However, it is being recorded on YouTube also. If anybody wishes to speak, ask private questions, you can always WhatsApp me as well, or you know, I also do one-to-one sessions as well every week on Wednesday, and it's a free one-to-one session. There's only one space, so you can see through meetup.com, and you can RSVP via there. If anybody has any one-to-one questions you wish to, work with me in that way. Um, Also, you can contact me via WhatsApp if necessary. So if anybody has any questions, you can answer now on ask now on YouTube or Zoom. If not, thank you for coming. Everything will be recorded on um, Facebook and on YouTube also, so you can always access these videos afterwards. And every Sunday I'll be doing a session at 2 p.m. Yep. Hopefully I'll be starting another sound meditation as well. So maybe if you know, about 2 years ago I used to do sound meditations via YouTube. Maybe I'll be trying to sort my equipment out and start from next week. Um, yeah, you can, Ben. Thank you. Yeah, for question is, yeah, you can use this as a daily practice. If you wish to, you can, come back to these videos and do these videos, or even few minutes, like 5 minutes, you connected with the breath, was aware of the breath, or you just come back to that state of being aware of oneself and just allowing yourself to just recognize and be aware of any thoughts between becoming emotions, experiences. So yeah, do it as a daily practice if you need to. You can do a short version of what we did today. Yeah, so thank you for coming out. If nobody else has got any questions, we'll be ending the session. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.